The Battle of Quiberon Bay took place in 1759 and was fought during the 7 Years' War between Britain and France. Following a series of defeats around the world, the French concluded that an invasion of Britain would turn the war in their favour. It was proposed transporting over 20,000 soldiers from Morbihan, landing in Scotland and capturing Glasgow and Edinburgh. A further 40,000 soldiers would also be transported to attack London. To avoid this, Britain started blockading French ports, preventing any ships from entering or leaving. The fleet required to invade Scotland had been blockaded in the French port of Brest. For 5 months, the British squadron, commanded by Admiral Hawke, continued to blockade Brest until severe gales forced them back to England. After escaping the blockade, the French ships headed for Quiberon Bay. Admiral Hawke now needed to find the French before they were able to join up with the invasion force. On the day of the battle, the British, led by Admiral Hawke, had 27 ships and about 14,000 men. The French fleet, led by Admiral Conflans, consisted of 21 ships and around 15,000 men. Quiberon Bay was being blockaded by another British squadron commanded by Admiral Duff. When Conflans arrived, he saw the British ships and began chasing them, but shortly after, Hawke's fleet was spotted heading straight for them. Conflans ordered the chase to stop and the French retreated into Quiberon Bay. Known to contain many hidden reefs and shoals, and with the addition of severe gales, Conflans did not expect Hawke to follow. But joined by Duff's squadron, Hawke ordered his ships forward. 7 ships formed a loose line of battle and raced after the French. The leading British ships opened fire on the French vessel Formidable, and other ships also attacked as they sailed past. Severely damaged, it would later be captured as a prize. Attempting to catch the leading French ships, the Royal Navy pushed forward. A British ship sailed alongside Le Thessy and both vessels exchanged broadsides. The rough seas were a serious hazard and Le Thessy was sunk when a huge wave crashed into the open gun ports. The French sailors off Le Eros were being blasted by the English ship Magnanimity, and the intense attack eventually forced the French vessel to surrender. The French rear had been devastated, but the front and centre of Conflans' fleet had entered Quiberon Bay, where they tried to form a defensive line. Conflans was hoping the British would not risk sailing any closer, but still they kept advancing. Unable to form an effective line of battle, Conflans issued orders to leave the bay for open sea, but not all of his fleets were able to escape, and the Royal Navy now began attacking. Hawke spotted Conflans' ship and sailed towards it. A small squadron of ships were protecting the French admiral, and as the British closed in, the French vessel Superbe attempted to stop them, but Hawke responded with 2 broadsides, completely destroying his opponent. He continued chasing Conflans, and although the 2 admirals exchanged cannon fire, French ships prevented Hawke from reaching his target. As night approached and darkness hampered visibility, Hawke ordered his fleet to cease firing. Bad weather and strong gales continued during the night, and HMS Resolution and the captured ship Le Eros both ran aground. The next day, the British saw that 8 French ships had managed to escape to open sea, although 1 had sunk after hitting rocks, and the rest of the French fleet were entering the Vilaine River, where they would become stuck for at least a year. Only 1 French ship remained amongst the British. It was Conflans, and with no support, he cut his cables and directed his ship to be run aground. Although a British ship attempted to catch him, it crashed on the same sandbank as the Resolution. Conflans managed to ground his ship. When the British approached the vessel, it was burned to prevent them from taking it. At the end of the battle, the French had lost 7 ships and over 2,000 sailors. The British had lost 2 ships and around 400 men. This was a victory for the British. For the duration of the war, the French Navy was unable to recover from this defeat. The planned invasion of Britain was abandoned, and further French losses were suffered in Martinique, Canada and India.